Hey, welcome to another episode of Uncorked with T. I'm T, and this is my always the wrong way. This is my guest, Reshonda Parker. Reshonda Parker. She is a boutique. I'm gonna slow down, y'all. Hold up. She's a boutique owner, a jewelry designer, crafter, mother of three. Holy crap! Poet, published model, and entrepreneur. You do so much stuff, and your modeling is absolutely gorgeous. So I want to start with your cosplay of Storm, who I love the X-Men, and I think it's a wonderful expression of the way that society breaks down. I really enjoy X-Men. So the fact that you were doing Storm, I thought was amazing. How did that happen?
Well, I have an amazing photographer named Christian Ortiz. And he came to me with the whole idea of doing Storm and really all the cosplay shoots that I've done so far. And so Storm was one that we kind of got together on, and I decided to do. I always like to take a character and kind of put my own little spin to it. And so the version of Storm that I really liked was the one that I did where she was like a badass. She had the mohawk, That
was cool.
Yeah, that's the one that I like, the edgy stuff. So when I saw her, and I was like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do this version. But that's how it came about. My photographer, sent me the idea. And so after we did Storm, he sent me the idea for Nubia, Wonder Woman's black sister.
I had no idea.
Yeah, look, don't feel bad. I didn't either. I had to do my research. And so after I did my research, I did find out that she had a black sister made out of black clay, like she was made out of white clay, and they met later in their lifetime, And so, but yeah, once I found that out, I was like, stoked about that. So I said, yeah, let's do it. So we went to Atlanta actually and shot Nubia. And it was a crazy situation. We went up there.
Oh God.
My phone got stolen during my shoot.
What?
By a homeless man. My phone got stolen by a homeless man.
I don't even know what to do with that. Okay.
I didn't know. Look, I didn't know either. We don't even know when it happened. All I know is when we were getting ready to leave the location, I couldn't find my phone. We had to figure out a way, which he figured it out, how to track the phone, and it led us to a park. And we could not get it back. There were a lot of people in this park, but someone had turned the phone off or down where we couldn't hear the ringer. But he answered on the 12th ring and refused to give me the phone back. So I had to leave Atlanta without my phone. But my photographer, yeah, it was crazy. One of the worst things on the shoot from
how do you even? I don't even know how to navigate that. Like, excuse me, Mr. Homeless Man, can I have my phone back? And you don't know who it is.
Yeah, it was an experience. It was definitely something I've never been through before. But at the end of the day, I ended up getting a brand new phone. But still.
Okay, that worked out.
I guess so. Yeah, I got a better phone.
Okay, that's better. That's better. So.
Yeah.
Out of all the things, you do a lot of stuff. Would you consider yourself an entrepreneur or just like a person who's interested in different things?
I would say both. I really would, because as far as being an entrepreneur, I had a boutique. I still have it, but I'm getting ready to do it online. But I have made custom jewelry for ever since 2012. I've been making jewelry. And so, but I'm always interested in different things. I may not, take it up as a business, but I'm always interested in different stuff. Because right now, one of my things is I remodel Barbie doll houses.
Stop, for real? That's so cool.
Yeah, I posted some pictures of a dollhouse that I did, and it got a lot of attention. I'm thankful that people like what I do. But it got a lot of attention, and people started inboxing me, asking me, would I be doing this to sell? And I thought about it, and I said, wow, that was just a lot of work, because it was a personal dollhouse for me. It's actually a miniature version of my store. And so I turned every floor into my store. And so it's very, personal. it was a dollhouse I was going to keep. I never thought about making any more dollhouses and selling them, but after everybody started asking me, I literally have 3 dollhouses in my house right now to remodel.
You got stuff to do.
Yeah, but I never planned on doing that. So it's just funny how things, come about. But yeah, I've always been interested in anything that allows me to use my creativity. That's just something that I've always loved doing. I like to create.
Yes. And I saw that you're a poet. I'm a poet as well. How
Yeah.
did you find poetry?
Actually, when I was much younger, I was going through some things in my childhood, and I found that to be an outlet for me just to write and putting my feelings down on paper. And then I loved poetry already. I was probably the strange girl. I liked Edgar Allan Poe. He was one of
Ooh,
my
you
favorite
go
poets.
dark.
Yeah, the dark stuff. And
Mhm.
so I just developed a love for it, after that. But it really happened during my childhood. Like I said, I was dealing with some things as a child. And I've told everybody my story. I was molested as a child.
I'm so
I
proud
had a
of
lot of
you.
things. Thank you. But, I feel like for everything that's happened to me, it's just helped mold me into the person that I am. So I try to find some positive out of every negative that I've ever experienced.
Hmm.
You have to try to do that just to keep pushing yourself and to keep going. But that's when I started writing poetry, was back then.
That's a hell of an outlet, and
Yeah,
that's a lot for a little kid. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. That
thank
sucks.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
adults can suck a lot.
Yeah,
So can
yeah.
small people.
Yeah, but it's made me, I feel, in a lot of ways a better mom too, because I talked to my kids at an early age about all
Mm.
kinds of things. Once I knew that they had the understanding of things that I could talk to them about, break it
Mhm.
down in terms that they understood. Just because when I was a child, I didn't really talk a lot. I kept a lot of stuff, to myself. And so for that reason, I talked to my kids when they were younger, just letting them know that they can always come talk to me no matter what. Um, I had to tell them, things that you shouldn't have to tell your children, but you do, with the way things are and the way people are.
Mhm.
Not to allow anybody to do anything to you that makes you feel bad or if you feel like it's wrong. You have to have those kind of talks with your kids. And unfortunately, with the way that the world is now, we have to start doing it when they are young like that.
Mhm. Young enough to understand, which is
Yeah,
too young.
yeah, yeah, it really is. But it's, something that's needed, to protect them, because when they feel like they can come to you and talk to you, then they will, you know.
Mhm. Damn right they will.
Yeah,
Um, so you do a lot of modeling. Um,
yeah.
that's awesome. Where did modeling start for you?
Actually, modeling started for me when I was 13.
Mhm.
It was actually not meant, well, I don't want to say it wasn't meant for me to be a model, but I didn't get into modeling because I wanted to model. My mom got me into modeling because I was extremely shy. And so she felt that by putting me in these modeling classes, it would bring me out of my shyness. It was never something that we thought was going to go anywhere.
Okay.
I hate to put it like that, but I didn't get into modeling at the age of 13 because I wanted to be a model. My mom just saw that I was really shy. And these modeling courses helped bring me out of my shyness. But through those courses, I developed a love for modeling that way. But it wasn't something that I started off wanting to do. That's the crazy thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so when did you start modeling recently?
Um, Well, I sat out for quite some time. I was
Mhm.
married for 15 years and I did it off and on. And then things happened. I separated from my husband and I got out on my own. And then I started thinking about, my modeling days and started missing it. I actually started missing it long before that happened, but I just got back started in 2019. I haven't even been back in this very long. And
That's insane. That's
yeah,
insane. You started like in 2019 and your career
yeah.
is skyrocketing right now. Like you you're already on like in magazines, like you're already on runways, like that is so phenomenal. That is so absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it's really cool because I think about it a lot, and I say, when I started off, I had opportunities to do a lot of different things, but I was so young and I was naive, and my mom and me didn't know anything about the industry at all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so for that reason, I did not do the things that I should have done back then, I'll
Mm-hmm.
say. At the age of, I think I was either 16 or 17, I was in Baltimore. I think I was 16 when I was in Baltimore, and I was working with a modeling agency there called Nova Model Management. And the owners of the agency, it was two men that owned this agency, but I worked every day on the runway. I would go down to the harbor. There was an agency down there, and I would just go and I would, walk on the runway and get my training that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so because I got homesick, and I tell this story, and people, I got some stories, but
Okay.
because I got homesick, I came back to Georgia. But prior to coming back to Georgia, I was told that I was being sent to Essence magazine, and I came home anyway.
Hold up.
Yeah, that
What now? What was that? What happened?
I'm gonna drink my drink.
Okay, you drink your drink.
No, I was being sent to Essence magazine. I found that out by the agency owner when I went in to tell him that I decided I was going back home because I was very homesick. I missed my mom. I missed my family because majority of my family was in Georgia still. It was really just me, my dad, and his girlfriend in Baltimore. But I got homesick. And so when I went to go tell him, he asked me if I would reconsider. And I told him, no, I'm just really wanting to go home. And he said, I hate to hear that I was going to send you to Essence magazine. And I came back home because at that time, I didn't understand how big that was. I really didn't. Now that I am 43.
That's it. That's stupid. That's just stupid. You do not look for that's stupid. You do not look 43. Black don't crack, baby.
But
Wowzers.
look, I'll be 44 in October, and I'm proud of my age because it's another thing that I talk to people about, mainly women, because I've met a lot of women that felt like because they were older, they could not continue doing something that they started when they were younger. And I just try to, prove with the things that I do and the stuff that I talk about, because I'm very vocal on Facebook. I don't know if you've noticed how vocal I am.
A little bit.
I'm always on Facebook, trying to, I go by my personal experiences, things that I've been through. And I talk about that a lot. I talk about my childhood. I talk about, my early adulthood, stuff like that, things that I've been through in hopes that it will reach somebody that it needs to reach, And I'm really big on empowerment for women because I didn't always have that when I was younger. Thank God, though, I had my grandmother, and she was more than enough, really. But there's a lot of young girls and, women that don't have that. So I just try to do, do my part. And, I want people to know that you don't have to stop what you love to do just because you're older, because I mean, like I said, I just started back in this, and I'm doing a lot of things that I never thought that I would do.
Mm-hmm. It's never too late, man. I'm
No.
not sure where that idea came from. Back in, I don't know, the 18th century, we died at like 40. So yeah, get shit done at like 20, but like we're living to our 80s, 90s, 100s.
Yeah.
So there's so much time, man. It's always time.
And my grandmother's 84, by the way. I talk to her every day, and she has been my rock all these years. And it's amazing because she's always been the one in my family that she saw things about me, that I never saw for myself. And it's not crazy to me because I grew up with her always telling me things, and then later on they would really happen. But I did a photo shoot with a photographer named Michelle, and she sent me pictures of Cicely Tyson. And it was amazing to me because prior to that, my grandmother called me on the phone after Cicely, passed away. And she said that she had been watching an interview about her, and she'd been looking at older pictures of her. And she told me that I resembled to her a younger version of Cicely Tyson, which is something I never even thought about.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was like the next day or 2 days later, Michelle, the photographer I work with, sent me pictures of Cicely. She said, I have a project that I thought of you for. She sends me pictures of Cicely Tyson. So I'm like, wow, my grandmother and me just talked about this.
What?
And I told Michelle about that. And so what happened was we took pictures of Cicely. We worked together and we recreated different looks, 3 different looks that she had. And it's crazy because when I post my behind the scenes, I wasn't supposed to tell anybody, what I'm doing. I never want to tell anybody what I'm doing. I just want to put the pictures out there.
Mm-hmm.
But when I posted my behind the scenes that day, one of my friends comes on and she says, "Oh my God, you look like a younger Cicely Tyson." And I had to ask her to take the comment off.
Like, listen, I'm doing something here.
Yeah, but it was crazy because I did not say what I was doing, but she knew from looking at me. And it wasn't even like the pictures I had taken, it's just the snapshots I had taken of myself and posted. But she knew. And so I was like, yeah, go, take it off.
Listen, you gonna mess up my money right now. You gotta take that down.
but the shoot came out really, really well. It got a lot of views on it. Somebody tagged Tyler Perry, and I'm still hoping he sees it. He hasn't seen it yet. I'm hoping he sees it.
Yes, yeah, we should do. Do you remember when that lady did that billboard of like her daughter or something like that in Atlanta, and was like, Tyler Perry, like, cast my daughter in these movies, and spent like a couple $1,000 on this billboard, and he's like, listen, you could just audition for free.
I know. Oh wow.
But maybe that's how you get in. Like, let's do a billboard. It seems like throwing away money, but you never know.
Yeah, you never know. But I just said, tagging him, I thought was a great idea, because you never know. Because even when I'm on my Instagram and I wear stuff from different companies or, whatever, and I tag, whatever I'm doing, like I do boudoir shoots, for lingerie, and I tagged Rihanna because I was wearing her Savage X, and I was hoping that she would see that. She ain't seen it yet.
Oh my gosh, if only.
But I'm hoping that she sees it. But I did get the opportunity to work with Janelle Stevens, who is the owner of a national hair brand called Camille Rose Naturals. I met her about, I guess, 3 years ago. And I just talked to her because I was trying to see if I could carry her products in my store. I was at a natural hair convention in Atlanta, and she was there, and I was excited to meet her because, it was actually her. And I took a snapshot of us together. We took a selfie. And so I posted it on my Instagram business page. But when I was on my personal page, I tagged her because my products I use in my hair, I use her products. And I've been talking about her products to everybody for years. So I tagged her, and she actually responded. And so when she responded, I said, I don't know if you'll remember me. I met you, it's probably been about 3 years ago. And I actually found the picture on my business page, posted it on my personal page, and tagged her. She's like, oh yeah, I remember you. And so what I got a chance to do, because I messaged her after that, and I said, and it's kind of crazy because I was talking to her like I just knew her like that. I was like, hey.
So what's up? How your day going? What you doing?
But you never know unless you take a chance. So, I was thinking about it, and I messaged her and I say, hey, I've been using your products for years. I tell everybody about your products. I've done hair tutorials showing people how to use this product and everything. And I said, if you ever need, a model or a brand ambassador, please keep me in mind. And what ended up happening was she let me do a live from her page. And I was able to talk to her viewers. And I'll tell you now, I've never done a live that got over 100 or 200 viewers talking to me at one time.
It's
that was an experience. Yeah. So I had a good time, doing that. And so I just told her, if ever she needs me again, just let me know. And she told me, yeah. So I hope to work with her again.
Yes. Yes. So I wanted to talk about some of your pictures. You have this
Okay.
really strong gaze in some of your pictures, and it feels like it comes from a place of strength. Is that something that you're trying to project, or is that just a natural pose for you?
Um, Honestly, when I do my shoots, I feel like everything I'm doing is just, just me.
Mhm.
I never go into any shoot knowing exactly how I'm gonna do it. It's just
Mm.
something I do once the camera starts. I that's my happy place. I say I love being in front of the camera. So I feel like the person I become in front of a camera is just so different from how I am every day.
Yes.
So, people may notice certain things. I don't ever notice it. I just do what I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get that. I get that. So you're doing a lot of acting right now. Well, you're going to start doing a lot of acting. I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you, do you have any background in theater?
Not at all.
Oh my God! None.
Not at
None.
all. Like the whole idea of acting honestly scares me because, and I'll tell you why. It's just something else that's not it's out of my comfort zone.
Mm.
And that's something that I said I was going to start doing more of things that were out of my comfort zone. I guess God heard me
Yeah, it's like, all
because
right.
yeah, acting was never a thing for me. I have been told by a couple people that I needed to try it. My grandmother even told me one time I needed to try it. My grandmother also told me I needed to write a book, and I'm actually writing a book to be published right now. But
Yes.
it's crazy because the acting thing was never a thought in my mind. Um, Ironically, that would be what I'm submitted for. Every single time I get submitted for something from my agency, it's always an extra in some film or some movie. So I don't know why people think I can act.
Because you can. I bet you can. Do you like it? Have you been on set on done any roles or like been in the space?
I have been on a set here in Columbus. I can't say what it is right now because it has not released. But I have been on a set and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I think that what I was on the set to be would shock people because that's so not me.
Really? Is it an octopus? No.
No.
It's just the first word that came to my head.
It's something that I don't want to talk too much because I
Okay,
might
we can skip it. I don't. I ain't
but
trying to mess up
but
your money.
it's shocking. It's completely not me. So
Okay.
I'm just like, wow, okay, if I could do this, I could do anything type of thing.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
didn't, but the easy part is I did not have to talk. See, that's the thing. I didn't have to
See,
talk for that. Now,
there you go.
when it comes to having to like read some lines and memorize them, oh God, I fear that. I fear that so bad.
Oh, I love that. That is my happy place. I love to be on stage. I love to act. It
Oh
just
wow.
is. It just feels good. I'm just like,
But I need
okay.
to channel you for all
Yeah.
of these things that they calling
So
me for.
speaking of that, right before you get on the runway, so right before I go on stage, I usually listen to like my hype song. It's probably something from I don't know, most likely Jay-Z or Janet Jackson. I know that's like a wide kind of genre, but those are my two favorites. Is there a song that you use to hype yourself up before you go like on the runway? Is there something you do to just pump yourself up before you get out there?
Um, Honestly, I give myself kind of like a little pep talk, I guess, kind of
Nice.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, I'm still very nervous before I go out on any runway. It's like I've been modeling for quite a while, but I'm still not used to fashion shows. And I've been put in quite a few fashion shows, but before I go out on the runway, I really have to just, kind of just talk to myself, and just kind of help, try to ease my nerves
Mm-hmm.
because I do get a little anxious, and there's been some shows that I've been in where we didn't have any practices ahead of time. It was just like the day of the show, just boom, you out there.
Oh,
And some shows I got a chance to practice and see the runway, but one of the biggest shows that I've done is I did a fashion week in North Carolina for an amazing designer named Melanie Caballero. And actually her show is tomorrow, and I hate that I cannot make this show.
I'm so
But her
sorry.
first show, me too. I was so hurt. But transportation, right now isn't great. So I said, I talked to her and she's really sweet. So she understood. But the first show that I did for her was a big show, and I had never seen the runway before at all. And so I arrive at the Embassy Suites in North Carolina, and it's busy, there's so many shows going on in this one day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I helped to accessorize all the models before they went out on the runway. Then it was my turn to get dressed. But once I got dressed, I'm standing in line so I could go out on the runway, but I haven't seen anything. And so I got nervous because I'm like, I don't know what I'm walking out to. And so what happened was when the person that comes in, I knew, my cue to go out. And I'm literally standing there. There's an audience on the left and right. And then at the very end, it's nothing but photographers, just everywhere, nothing but photographers. And I'm like, oh my God. And I had to tell myself, okay, it's okay. Don't freak out.
Yeah. Is that how your pep talks start? Like, my pep talks usually start with like, listen, bitch, we don't have time for this shit. Okay. Get it together. Like, how do your pep talks sound like?
Well, it don't sound like that one, but I probably need to use that. But no, I just tell myself, this is what you love to do. So, just get out there and do your best. I always hope and pray that I don't fall. I always hope, because I hate heels. I hate heels with a passion. And it's crazy because as a model, you wear them, out there on the runway. But my heels, little secret to mine, I have a platform on mine, a little platform, so it helps stability.
Okay.
But yeah, I always fear like tripping or falling or something, because we're told that if we do that, get up and play it off and act like it didn't happen, even though it did.
Mm-hmm.
And so, thank God I've never had that experience. But I find that once I'm up there and I start, then I'm good. It's like I get comfortable and then I'm fine. And so, yeah, but my biggest show comes in September. I walk New York Fashion Week.
Yes. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. For the same designer. She's amazing. But I'm so nervous about that one because that will be the biggest show I've ever done. I've done a lot of shows now, but that's huge. New York.
New York is pretty awesome. I'm from New York, so I think it is the best state ever.
Yeah.
A little biased.
What part of New York are you from?
Long Island. Strong Island, baby.
Strong Island.
Strong Island, baby. We should be one of the boroughs. That's all I'm saying. Like, we should be part of the boroughs. They fucked us up with that. It's fine. We don't care. We don't need it. Strong Island. So I want to ask you a sci-fi question.
Uh-oh.
So if you were given the chance to have 24 access for the rest of your life with a time machine, you can go wherever you want with this time machine. You can do whatever you want with it. Or you're given $1 billion with a B. Which one would you pick?
If I could actually go back, like in time, anywhere?
You can go anywhere you want.
That's tricky to me because if I can go back anywhere, I guess I couldn't stay there. Time would still be going on. I would still eventually, that's kind of hard because I've had so many things happen in my life that I wish I could go back on. But I think that, that's a hard question. It's a hard question because part of me wants to say the time machine thing, but then I kind of have this belief that everything happens for a reason, the way it's supposed to. So I don't think that I would choose that answer to go back because I think that, like I said, everything happens for a reason. It's helped to mold me into the person that I am now. I had to have those experiences, whether they were good or bad, to be who I am now. And I might just take the money.
Yeah.
on this one.
Well, I mean, you can go forward in the time machine too. You can go into the future.
Oh, okay. I think about the past. um, I think that I would still honestly just take the money and just let God handle things the way that it's supposed to be. I don't think I would mess with time.
Yep, me too. I would do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the past for me.
Mm.
I do think that everything happens for a reason. You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
here without those things, and I never want to know the future, ever. It would
Yeah.
fuck me up. Like I would
Yeah.
just plan. Every decision I make would be garnered towards, am I going the right way to get that? Like it would just. I'm too obsessive, so no. I would just give me the
Yeah.
money and I go live my
Yeah.
life.
And see, like I've had so many things, happening. And like I was saying to you earlier about my experiences and stuff. I've been through losing a child. I actually lost two kids.
Jeez,
I've been
yes.
through, yeah, I've been through losing a man that was extremely close to me. I consider him my soulmate. He passed last year in March. So
Oh,
this
that's so
month,
much.
last year. Yeah, so, when I was thinking about your question about going back in time, at first I thought about, going back and, seeing them. And then I said, no, because I don't feel, I wouldn't want to, I feel like I'd be doing God's work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like,
Mhm.
I don't want to mess with, time because everything's happening for some reason, whether we understand why or not. And so that's why I answered the way I did, and like you moving in the future like that. And, I just rather let God do his job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow. I'm so sorry that you had
Thank
to go through
you.
all that. That's
Thank you.
hard as hell.
It is. It is. But I have been blessed to have some really good people in my circle,
Mm.
that have helped me get through everything that I'm going through. My best friend is one. She's been there for me for so long. And with just for an example, with the loss of my first son passed in 2001, and then I lost a baby in 2009 that I didn't even get a chance to even, meet.
Mm.
But my son in 2001, when that happened, I was in a depression
Mhm.
after that.
Yeah.
And so as I started talking to people and it started bringing me out more and more, with my emotions and stuff. And then I started meeting people that had been through the same thing that I had been through. An amazing thing, happened. I started feeling worse for other people
Hmm.
than I did for myself. And then I started reaching out to people and helping people that had gone through that. And I'm friends with a lot of people now because I mean, that's how we met. And I said, I feel like, God uses us sometimes to help other people. He'll put people in our path for us to either help or learn from. And so, through those experiences, no matter how painful, they have been, I've been able to meet some really great people and actually help others, through their pain because no one understands like a person that's been through it.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. Whew. Yeah. Ow, buddy. Ow,
Yeah.
ow,
Yeah.
ow. As you started to not get into, God, that's a hard way. As you started to re-enter the modeling world, who was the first person that encouraged you?
Um, well, that's hard because I have so many. But the
Some
first
of the first.
person, the first person to encourage me was my grandmother. She's
Mm.
always been there for me. Um, and then a hairstylist friend of mine. His name is Greg Morgan, and he's known me since I was 13.
Oh
So
wow.
he has literally watched me all these years, to where I am now. And he always encouraged me. And I tell him all the time how much I appreciated that because he's always, even now, rooting for me. And my best friend, um, my photographer that did the storm shoot that you like,
Yeah,
he's
that's cool.
been a huge support. and it's hard because, like I said, I'm blessed. I have so many people that are literally like just, cheering me on and letting me know daily, that they see what I'm doing. They're proud of me, and I appreciate that. I go on Facebook a lot and I make long posts like I'm accepting a Grammy or something. But I'm always on there thanking people because I feel like my success, I did not do this alone. My
Right.
photographers play such a huge part in that because it's their work that you're looking at. It's my work too, but I'm the canvas, is what I
Hmm.
always say. I'm the canvas and they create with me. So I didn't get here alone. So I appreciate, everybody, you know.
Mm. You have to, because you're right. Nobody gets here on their own. That's a fallacy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's not a thing you can do.
yeah.
Um, has COVID affected your business or your modeling? Has it been a wrench in your side?
Yes and no. I'll say because COVID has definitely made me not want to go out around people, you
Right.
know. Yeah. But at the same time, I pray on everything and I do the things that they say for everybody to do, the mask, the hand washing, the sanitizer.
So simple.
I Yeah, I also for 18 years I have done the organic and the holistic stuff. So I was already doing healthy things, which
Mhm.
I feel like contribute to, you know, um, just your immune system being strengthened.
Mm.
So I do everything that I can, and I do that with my children as well. And I tell other people about it that want to know about it and stuff like that. But yeah, it's of course, put a little bit of a pause on some things because
Yeah.
as far as my modeling goes,
Hmm.
the New York Fashion Week was supposed to have been in February, but it got pushed back to September due to COVID.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of stuff that would be happening, of course, if it was not for that. So yeah, it's put a little strain on that. I'm still working still, but I'd be doing much more, I'm sure, if this wasn't an issue.
Yeah.
But
COVID is a pain in the ass.
yeah, it is. And so as far as my business goes, I'm pretty much like work from home, but I haven't been able to really do the stuff I want to do with my business yet because I've been really busy with the modeling. But I hope to kind of find a balance and start doing my business stuff because I have a whole website that I was supposed to have launched on New
Okay.
Year's and didn't do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it's something that I, definitely plan on doing soon.
Hell yeah. Um, what advice would you give an aspiring model? Someone who just thinks that now is the time they think that they want to start in modeling business. What advice would you give them?
First of all, if they want to start in the modeling business, I would definitely encourage them to go for it. But at the same time, to do your research. And I say that because even though I have been doing this for quite a while, I still have to do mine. Um, a lot of things that, like I said, that me and my mom didn't know in the beginning that I know now is if anybody's asking you for money to put out money, that's a red flag.
Nope, don't do it.
Yeah,
Don't
that's a
do
red
it.
flag. Don't do that at all. I would say, money as far as investing in good quality photos, working with good photographers to build your portfolio is a must, you know. But as far as like someone or an agency saying, for such and such amount of money, we'll get you this work or whatever. No, you don't pay for that. They make their money off of you, their percentage off of what you make as their model. So, I would just tell anybody that's wanting to get into this industry to just really like do their research before they don't hop in. Everything that sounds good isn't always good, that type
Hmm.
of thing. Research.
Research. Okay.
Yeah.
What advice would you give um, the 13-year-old version of yourself? Not just about modeling, but
Yeah.
like about life.
Um, Well, if I could talk to the 13-year-old version of myself, now knowing all the things that I know, I would reassure her that everything was going to be fine,
Mhm.
because that was something that I definitely did not ever think was going to, I didn't think it was going to be okay when I was that young. I had been through so much stuff already at such a young age
Yeah.
that I just never saw myself here. So, if I could actually go back and talk to my younger self, I would just give her a big hug and that talk that she needed, and let her know that everything was going to be just fine.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I just got comfortable like in my own skin like 5, 7 years ago. Like I'm
Yeah.
just happy with me, you know. Have you always been comfortable in your skin, or is it a thing you had to learn, or was it a challenge, or not?
It was something that I have not always been, and I talked a lot about that too. There was a point in my life where I was, like I said, I was molested at the age of 9.
Oof.
I did not love myself. I used to get bullied in elementary and middle school. Um, yeah, I was like bullied bad. Add that to being extremely shy, all of those things, I hated my reflection in the mirror. I did not love myself at all. Um, and that was something that was really hard. So as I got older, um, I was actually in relationships that were bad relationships because I did not know my self-worth, you
Girl, I
know?
know.
Yeah, my self-esteem was shot still, and, it took a lot of prayer,
Hmm.
and like I said, my grandmother has always been there for me, so she's always been that one person that I knew I could talk to,
Hmm.
and she was the one that taught me how to pray and have a relationship with God, and that helped me out a lot. But being in the modeling industry, especially where everything's so focused on, your appearance,
Yeah.
was hard in the beginning. Um, and I did not actually hear things like I was beautiful or I looked like a model until I actually got into this industry, which helped my self-esteem,
For sure.
of course. But it was still kind of hard, to take compliments. And some days I find myself still, you know, um, kind of wondering, what everybody else sees.
Hmm.
It's still a struggle sometimes, but like I said, when I get in front of a camera, it's like I just lose all of that. I just shed that skin and I just become this different person. And what I have been doing is I remember my very first bathing suit shoot, and I had never done one before. And I was so, insecure, and I didn't know if I wanted anybody to see me. And then, when I got those pictures back and I saw them and I was like, oh wow, that's when, I saw myself in a different light, you
Hmm.
know. And as I posted them and I got the positive feedback, and then I just went on and on and on to do more and more and more, that helped, lift my self-esteem up more. But it's a process, it's definitely a process.
That it is. So talking about modeling, everything, not everything, but most of the things I know about modeling comes from The Devil Wears Prada. So how accurate is that movie? Like, um, have you seen the movie The Devil Wears Prada?
I have, but it's been so long since I've seen it. I remember certain parts, but not everything. So I don't know. I
Hmm.
can't. It's been quite a while since I've seen
Been a
that.
while.
But the modeling, from what I can remember, I guess the modeling industry is still cutthroat. It's
Oh,
still
that's
kind of
fun.
cutthroat. Um, Certain things, but I think, especially for movies, they kind of hype it up,
Right? They kind
for
of have
attention.
to.
And yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying that, modeling's not, hard work or anything, because it is work. It's more work than it is the glamour that people think it is. There's a lot
Mm.
that goes into those shows and into the photo shoots and stuff. The photos you see, yeah, they look, pretty and, like I had somebody tell me, as a matter of fact, it was a guy that I'm friends with, and he told me, he said, I didn't know that modeling was work. I thought it was just, posing and taking pretty pictures. And I said, no, it's so much more than that. I did a
Look at
whole
here.
post about it. After he said that, I said, I wonder who else thinks that crap. Let me let me go ahead and do a whole post about this and let me address these issues. So, like I said, I'm very vocal. I get on Facebook and sorry, I dropped my top to my drink. I get on Facebook and I, address a lot of different things and stuff because there's a lot of misconceptions too. But it's so much more than sitting and posing and taking pretty pictures. I can tell you with every photo shoot that I've ever done, I can tell you something about that day. I have a shoot that I did in 2012. I was a part of an 8-week model competition. It was like the online version of America's Next Top Model. I worked with a woman who she owns this site called goingnatural.com. And for 8 weeks straight, we competed. And I mean, they would eliminate people as we went, but I made it to the very bottom. I was the second person. There were 3 of us at the end. And so we were given different things by different companies. And one of the companies that sent us stuff was Iman Cosmetics. And so I actually ended up winning the challenge. Iman herself and her creative director judged my pictures, and I won the challenge for her. And so that was like the highlight of my life right there, because she's like my idol.
Yes.
But yeah, during one of those challenges, I'm terrified of bad weather. I've literally been through a tornado. I have survived a tornado. Yes, an actual tornado. I have survived a tornado. And for that reason alone, I have some storm anxiety, for real.
Word.
And during this time, this day that we were having this photo shoot, I was at a swimming pool that had a waterfall. It was a beautiful swimming pool. And there was literally a severe thunderstorm warning, a tornado watch out that day. All of these things going on around me, but in those pictures, you could not tell how terrified I was. I was terrified, but I knew I couldn't show that in my photos, but I was so terrified. And I mean, for everything, every shoot that I've ever done is work. It's work for the photographers. It's work for me. It's never just sitting and taking pretty pictures ever.
God no.
Yeah,
So
it's work.
You ever got proofs back of your pictures? And you're just like, this is whack. Redo it. Like, you ever had to have? Have you ever had to have an uncomfortable conversation, like with a photographer, like, this isn't exactly what I'm looking for?
Well, one thing that I will keep saying, and I mean this, is that I have great photographers, so we really communicate. And so if it's something that I don't care for, because majority of the times, my photographers will send me the photos first. Instead of just posting stuff, they'll send them to me and let me choose, what I like. And I will say that I probably drive some of them crazy only because I'm harder on myself. I don't see what everybody else sees. So when I'm looking at these photos, there's one photographer that I was working with, and all the photos, it seemed like he liked. I was like, my hair looks funny, or my arm is wrong, or I probably drove him nuts, but I'm harder on myself. But for the most part, no. I mean, because I get a chance to look at them, as well, and see what I like and see what I, don't really like. But for the most part, I mean, I love all of their work. So, I don't really have those type of problems, thank God.
Yes, nice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've been in a couple of productions where I'm just like, so this is what we're doing? Oh, this is it. Okay. All right. Listen, I need jobs in the future. I'm gonna hold this one. you just do your job,
Yeah. 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 I'm thankful. I haven't had those type of experiences. Except for maybe one time. It was basically a lighting issue. The lighting was off real bad on one of these. And I don't talk about anybody, but one photographer I worked with, his lighting was bad. And so the pictures came out really dark. But besides that, I mean, that's the only issues I've ever ever had, really. You know,
Nice.
yeah,
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah. And I mean, lighting Black women is different than, lighting white women. Like having a photographer who knows, not just knows, but, you know, has worked with other photographers and lighting designers who've done the same. It's hard. It's really,
yeah,
really hard. And you never want to be the person that's just like, hey, listen, that's not gonna work. Like,
yeah.
learning how
And
to
it's like
just say
that.
it.
And it's like that too, like with makeup artists, because I've since I've been doing this for a while now, I start bringing my own foundations because some makeup artists don't know how to match us,
Yes,
truthfully.
that's a real thing.
Um, yeah, it's trial and error,
Mhm.
stuff. But over the years, I've learned, okay, this works for me. Let me just bring this just in case, that type of
Exactly.
thing. And so that's what I do with all of my shoots. And then I have very sensitive skin anyway. I still break out like a teenager. My body has not realized that I'm in my 40s
Yep.
at all.
Y'all heard that? Yes, she said 40s. That's stupid.
Yeah, yeah. My body has not realized that yet. So I'm still, it's like I'm going through puberty sometimes. I still get little breakouts and stuff like that. So I have makeup that I wear. It's Bare Minerals.
Mhm.
I try to find like the purest brands if I can to wear because my skin is sensitive. But I take that stuff with me on shoots. So that when makeup artists have to do anything, any of the time I've had to have one, then I have my color, my
Yes.
foundation.
One that works with you. That's something I had to do, like when I
Yeah.
started doing stage, because your makeup on stage should be like at least a shade or two like brighter than your actual face, because the lights are really bright and it needs to catch you the right way. So if you have
Yeah.
like someone backstage who's doing makeup, which is usually like another cast member, don't let them do that. Okay. No, 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 no. You bring your own shit. Like, I got this. We're good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have to because it makes a difference. Because at the end of the day, you want to look right. You don't
Right.
want to look, crazy. So you
Right.
gotta have the right stuff.
So my favorite part right before I go on stage is that moment, like right before I go on stage. That's when like you, I feel most comfortable, most like myself on stage. So
Yeah.
like the minute my foot hits the stage, that's when a transformation happens. When does that happen for you? When you're on the runway? Is it like right before you get on the runway, when you're halfway down it? Is there a time when you're just like, I'm here?
I think when I start walking, honestly, because when I come out onto the runway and I'm just standing there, before I actually start walking. But once I start walking, then it feels like that for me because I'm already doing it. I'm in that process of, going down the runway. So I would say when I start walking.
Yeah, it's electrifying, right?
Yeah, it is. Because like I said before, I get out on any runway, I'm always anxious, wondering, how it's going to go or, what it's going to be like. But I find that I'm more like that when, like I said, I don't know what the runway looks like. I haven't had a chance to practice because, I mean, that messes with you.
Yes. I can't
Yeah,
imagine that. I need to see
yeah,
it.
yeah. And I think, well, I'll say I think because I've never been to New York for modeling. I've been to New York a couple times, but never for modeling. So this will be my first time.
Mhm.
And I have already seen the videos of those shows.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to get myself like, ready mentally, for that. Because it's definitely a huge thing, bigger than what I've ever done. So I'm trying to get myself prepared for that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
So I only like slightly internet stalked you, but I'm lying. I stalked you a
Talk
lot
away. Talk away. That's what I
because
put the stuff out there for.
I really enjoy your pictures, especially your
Thank you.
Instagram.
Thank
Um,
you.
when was a time in your career when you felt like not only were you doing what you love, but you were progressing? Like this is happening. Like I am doing this. Is it because you restarted back in 2019? Did that happen right away, or was it a little bit later?
Um, well, towards the end of 2019, when I was getting back into doing it,
Mhm.
um, it started happening, I guess, well, shortly after I got into it, because I started working with, photographers and stuff like that, started building my portfolio. Um, but I think when it finally just really hit me, I guess, was when I got my first magazine. I'll say that
Yeah.
that was it, because right now, I have been in 11 magazines and I have 5 covers. And so
Damn.
that was something that when I got into my first magazine and I actually got that magazine in the mail and I looked through the pages and I saw myself I had a spread and I was like, oh, wow, that was when it really hit me, because I was, holding a magazine with my pictures in it. And
Mhm.
that's like an amazing thing, something that I, you know, dreamt of as well. So that's when it finally like really just hit me.
Like I am doing this. I'm making this happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
Wow.
being able to network with so many different people as well.
Mhm.
And just doing a lot of stuff that I just, dreamt about doing. Finally, it being a reality now, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. Okay, I
Yeah.
just have 2 more questions for you, and then we get up out of here.
It's no problem.
Um, out of all the people who have supported you throughout your life, is there anyone that like we have people who come in and out of our lives, people who support us, people who don't. Is there anyone who's been there all the way through? Anyone who's just like, you know what? I support you, I believe in you, and has never dropped off.
Well, like I said, that's almost like when I was talking about just my circle, because I actually have a lot of support. It's really a lot of people, that have been
Mm.
there from the beginning till, now. So, and it's really more than I can name. I mean, I keep saying that I'm blessed, because I am, because I feel like, and I even say when I do my lives on Facebook, you know, these people that are supporting me, they don't have to, they have lives
Mhm.
of their own, much more important things, I know. But the fact that they take the time out to encourage me or to like my pictures, and so many that share my photos, like, I had an article was done by WTVM
Oh,
here, um, and Nicole Jones did it, and that article was shared over 300 times.
damn. Yes.
And so, it was amazing to me, because I think of myself as just a regular person, because I am, I'm a mom, I don't want to, but I don't want to say what I do as a regular job, because I have some folks some guys that are kind of,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hold up.
but I think everybody knows what I do. But I do DoorDash deliveries. I'm a regular person, I'm a regular person. My modeling life, is one thing, and then I have a regular life. So
Mhm.
the fact that so many people actually support me the way that they do is really amazing to me. So there's been a lot of people that have been, I don't want to name anybody, because I don't want to forget anybody. I always feel bad. And, if somebody hears
Right?
this, they'll be like, you didn't name me. I've been here
Yeah.
for you.
What's up with that shit?
Yeah. So, everybody.
Everybody, I get you. I get you.
Yeah, a lot of people. No, really, a lot of people. And so I'm just thankful that they do it, because they don't have to, but I appreciate it.
Okay. I said I had 2 more questions. I lied. So I'm gonna ask
That's
one
okay.
question
Ask
and
me
then
what
like
you want.
one last question. So this one is just I have to know. Tacos or burgers?
Hmm. I'm greedy. I pick both.
Yes. Yes. I love tacos. I have an weird love for tacos. Delicious.
Yeah. I mean, they're good. I mean, you can't help but love them. But like, people laugh at me when I talk about how much I eat because I'm so tiny.
Yes, you're
But
very.
no lie, there's a place in Atlanta, and it's called Yeah Burger. And I went in there one night and I ate 8 burgers, and people
Was it
do
like
not
White
believe
Castle
that.
burgers?
No, they were full size burgers with the buns,
Stop
everything,
playing
all
with
the things.
me.
I want a t-shirt. I was just talking about this the other day on Facebook. I want a t-shirt. I love oysters. And it's weird because I'm such a texture person. I don't know how I loved oysters being a texture person, but I discovered that I love them. So I was down in Panama City Beach one time with my family, and we went to an oyster bar. And so there was a sign. It's a place called Shuckums, and it's like on the main strip. And so there's a sign saying if you eat so many dozen, you get a shirt. It's like an ungodly amount of oysters, right? It might be like 8 dozen or something like that.
Jesus.
Girl, when I tell you I went in there and I ate 12 dozen oysters and I won my t-shirt.
Yo.
And everybody was like, were they in the shell? And yeah. Some of them were raw and some of them were cooked, but they were still in the shell. But the ones that were cooked had all these like toppings and stuff on them. And I still ate the same amount. But I won my shirt. But people looked at me like I was a freak of nature.
Wait, what? Like the Black Widow, she's a competitive eater, and she's tiny like you, and she puts it away.
Yeah.
These dudes under the table.
That's me. I'll go up against anybody.
That's insane. That's insane. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So last question I have for you. So you do so many things. You own a boutique. You're a model. You're a mother. You're a crafter. Well, take mother out of it for this question. Like not ever. Like I'm glad that you have children, but just for this question, which one of the many projects that you do is your baby? Which one is your favorite?
Well, I'm gonna say my modeling because that's what I've been spending the most of my time on. That's a childhood thing for me. Like I said, I didn't get into it with the intentions of being some big model one day, but when I developed the love for it and realized, this is really like something I really want to do. It hurt me when I sat out those years because in the back of my mind, I kept thinking about it. And so when I finally got back into it, I just knew I was just going to give it my all. And so I consider this my baby for real. I work very hard, because it's a passion for me.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So could you give everyone your socials and where they can find you? How can they hit you up if they want to buy stuff from your store?
Yeah, well, my Instagram, I have a personal account, but my personal account, I engage with my followers and everybody. So my personal account is at model MODEL Reshon RESHON. And then my modeling page is where people can just go and just see my work. And so that's my name, Reshonda _ Parker. And as far as my jewelry goes, I have a business page on Instagram as well that I need to get back into promoting. It's a sugar SUGAR.custom. And that's my business page. Soon, very soon, I will get my website up and running, and then I'll post that information on my business page when I get that up and going. But soon I'll have a website that people can actually go and check out what I do. And I do a lot of jewelry that's one of a kind. No jewelry I've ever made unless requested, and that's only happened maybe twice since 2012 when I started. No jewelry is made the same. Like everybody truly gets an original piece. If you have a pair of earrings, nobody else got that pair, So that's what I love to do. And I guess you can call that my baby too, because I like creating. I like to let my imagination just run, and I come up with some of the best ideas when I just I have all my beads and everything just spread out everywhere and I can see everything. It's like a mess. You wouldn't think that I could even make anything in the mess that I keep, but it helps my creativity. But yeah, soon I'll have a website up, and then people can go and they can see what I do, and even request things, because I do a lot of custom orders. I've put my jewelry in stores before, in beauty salons, stuff like that too.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You guys follow her on all the socials. Thank you so much for being on the show. Reshonda Parker is a boutique owner. She is a jewelry maker. She is a crafter. She is a published model and a mother of 3. That's wild. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day. Deuces.
Bye.
Oh, and go Yankees.